What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode in the career mode. Today, we have the Carabao Cup final for you all. That's going to be the final game of today's episode. We're going to check out how we got on in the two games we played before that in the league against Arsenal and against Derby County. There's also a game in there as well against West Brom, which we will be simming because it is the day before the Carabao Cup. That is right, one day separates a Premier League game on a Saturday and a Carabao Cup final on a Sunday. No idea what you're thinking with that one, but we're going to let that slide today because our main focus has to be on that Carabao Cup final against Spurs. One of the harder teams in the division, the Premier League winners of last year, the team who are currently sat second behind us in the table this year. It's definitely not going to be an easy afternoon whatsoever. First game though, like I said, we take on their North London rivals in Arsenal, and you can see the side that I named for this. It's a somewhat weaker team than we would have liked, but it's still a team that we put out there hoping to get the job done. For them, that is their lineup on the screen, briefly popping up for you all to take a look at. And we actually started off really well, getting the first chance inside the first 20 minutes. Davy Proper's deflected shot behind led to us getting a corner, which, you know what I like from corners? That near post sort of thing. This time around, I tried to kind of go short, changing it up ever so slightly. Izquierdo steps inside, tries to put the cross in. It's actually hit our own player on the rebound before Basuma strikes it goalwards, came back off the woodwork, fell to Ollie Watkins, who just simply could not miss. And Brighton took the lead at the Amex in the game. Like I said, it was pretty fortunate in the way the goal came about, deflected from us straight out to Basuma, whose shot came back off the post straight to Ollie Watkins. So a slice of luck involved, but you'll take it with both hands. Whenever you get this sort of thing happen, you just have to accept it. But where there might have been a slice of luck about our goal, there was certainly not about this one from Arsenal. Ozil lays it off outside of the right foot, first time from Alexandre Lacazette, and the ball ends up in the top corner of our net. Oh my goodness me. Like, I wanted to sit here and complain and be salty as hell about it, but you know what? You just have to accept it. Like I said, this is an incredible strike. Like, how many times do you think if we did that over and over again that would go in? Look at this angle here. The curl on this ball is sensational. Right in the top corner. I've got no idea what one of our players was doing. I think it was Andres Pereira there with his head on, kind of his hands on top of his head, just complaining about something. I don't know what it was complaining about because the strike was just brilliant. Pulled them back level, but wherever Arsenal can do, we can match it. Izquierdo, who came in this game here from largely not playing a lot of this season, not had a lot of game time, but when he does, he seems to always just make an impact because as soon as we fell back to 1-1, he popped up to make it 2-1 Brighton. Ball through from Basuma, took one touch to bring it back on the right foot before curling it inside the top right-hand corner of the goal. Left no chance for Bird Leno. There it is. Little one back on his right foot before that curling effort came in. Felt the goalkeeper should have gone with the other hand, not the right hand that he did. So he maybe could have saved it, but you can take nothing away from the strike from Izquierdo. It was sensational. Back in front then in the game, and with the last few kicks of the first half, we were able to steal another chance. Andres Pereira plays the ball through to Izquierdo, who was having a stunning game here at the Amex, and he doubled his goal tally for the day, making it 3-1 to us. And we were just before the break heading into a 2-goal advantage. So a really good position to be in. And more importantly, for confidence. You know, it was great to kind of score 3 times. It gives us that little bit of momentum moving forward, especially in that cup final we've got to come against later on against Spurs. We're going to have to score in that game. There's no doubt about it. They will cause us no end of problems. So we will have to score. We will have to try and get ourselves a few chances. So in that situation there, to grab 3 goals inside 45 minutes here, I was very, very happy indeed. Even better that it's with a team that you would consider to be our weaker team. We haven't got the likes of Balotelli. We haven't got Vinicius Jr., no Brahimi, no Ali Reza for that matter. In fact, no, Ali Reza did play, didn't he? In fact, Ali Reza, I believe, starts in the final to come later on. So stay tuned for that one. We did create one opportunity in the second half. Feet up, getting it, the substitute, but it just kind of went into the side netting, and it was pretty poor from him in the end. Should have done a little bit better, I felt. I know it was a difficult chance, but at least try and test the goalkeeper. But with the final kick of the game, the final header of the game, I should say, that was the end of it. A 3-1 win here at the Amex starts our episode off very good indeed. And because of that, Spurs were actually 2 points behind us going into this. So we needed to keep winning. They're going to try and match us every step of the way at this point, and whatever we do, they're probably likely to do. So if we win, most likely they're going to win. So we need to try and keep going forward. There's only 2 points separating us. If we fall to a defeat at some stage and they win, it's going to make this a very, very nervy sort of last few games. So that win was important for us. At this stage, we didn't know the Spurs results, so it was more just about us climbing forward in the league. 2 from Izquierdo, 1 from Ollie Watkins. Happy days indeed. But the goal of the game certainly has to go to Alexandre Lacazette with that unbelievable outside of the right boot curler into the top corner. So, full credit to him. However, we then faced Derby, the side that were down the bottom of the table. Directly bottom, in fact, having only picked up 6 or 7 points from their last 20-something games, which is a horrendous return. But I don't want to be saying too much about them, because during this game, this was our full-strength lineup, and we made to look terrible. Don't know what it was. We just could not get going. And with 2 minutes to play, I was thinking to myself, this would be typical of me right here. If we were to go on and draw this 0-0 against the team at the bottom of the side of the table, especially when Spurs are closing the gap, this would be typical of me right here. But 2 minutes to go. Nice move. Phil Foden pops up with a goal that's going to make the difference. And that, right there, was the only goal of the game. So in a game where we were lackluster, we were poor, Derby weren't much better, to be fair. You know, even though we were poor, they didn't really create much going forward up the other end either. So it wasn't like we deserved to lose or anything. It was just one of those games where nothing, literally nothing was coming our way. We couldn't create a clear-cut chance. Derby were doing really well, getting all of their men behind the ball. And that was credit to them. Defensively, they were good. They probably did deserve the draw defensively. But that goal was enough to carry us through and get the 1-0 victory. So enough from that. Gets us another 3 points. And Spurs winning does mean, of course, we have to keep doing that. I believe they drew the game when we faced Derby here. So that was good for us because, you know, like I said, drawing this game would have been pretty bad. But you just have to take it with a pinch of salt. So Spurs drawing, us winning means that gap now moves to 4 points instead of 2. Without further ado, though, guys, that's it for the post-com section. We're going to go live for the Carabao Cup. Hopefully, you enjoy the rest of today's episode. Enjoy it. Welcome, guys, to the live part of the episode. Today, we have the Carabao Cup final now that we will be playing against Spurs. There's a day separating this West Brom game to the Spurs game, which I won't be playing this one. I'm going to be simming it ahead of that game there. We are away from home, so the chances are we're probably going to lose this, but whatever. Don't really care. This is the side we're going to go with. It's a lot weaker than I would like to play, but like I said, a day is not enough time whatsoever for us to be you know, moving forward with. So, like, it's just ridiculous. I was praying that they had fixed this whole issue with fixture congestions, because I don't mind playing, like, 2 days down the line, but let's face it, a day is not long enough to be playing. So, like I said, we'll see what happens. We did take the lead here. Pereira scored, but they have equalised West Brom. I don't even know where they are in the league going into this one. Pereira scored for the second time, which means that they are now behind by 2-1. Spurs are playing Manchester City in their game, though. So hopefully they've got a strong side out there, as we do go on to actually miraculously win the game. I think Spurs lost to City as well. So that moves them even further behind now in the Premier League. So that's obviously good for us. But I'm hoping they played a strong side there, Spurs, in which case that will help us out for this Carabao Cup final that's momentarily going to appear on your guys' screens. So I've got some things to sort out here, including Youth Academy, which is stacked like it is all the time. Right now, there is so many good prospects in here, but I don't know how many of these actually are going to get through to our first 11 and maybe make an impact at some stage. So we're going to have to wait and see. Spurs just losing to City does help our cause, but I've got a feeling they're still going to have a strong squad. I'm going to go around, change ours, make sure ours is the best it can be. Okay, annoyingly, Foden did just play there. He came off the bench. And I'm assuming that a lot of look at some of these players that we've got. I mean, you're going to have to see. We've got Morris on the bench as a super sub for striker. If he comes on and scores the winning goal in this cup final, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Ali Razor, experience. In fact, I'm going to actually put Ali Razor on the right and put Vinicius Jr. down the middle like that. That's what we're going to go with. And then have Ali Razor out on that right-hand side just to kind of get the experience into the team and make the difference. So he's in. I'm not sure what their side is going to look like. Without further ado, this is the first cup final of the series, which is kind of mad because, you know, previous years, I know this is the first time we've had Ultimate, but previous years, at this stage, I would have been home and dry winning everything. It's not been that case. Carabao Cup finals coming up. Spurs against Brighton. Let's see their side. Okay. We are about ready to do this. I'm not really sure what to make of this. Obviously, I don't know who's going to be favourites, us or them, because they won the league last year. We finished second. They're in second this year. We're first. It's the Spurs and Brighton story, really, this series has been, hasn't it? So it's going to continue with a Carabao Cup final between the two of us here at Wembley, where Spurs are playing anyway. So it's like, you know, home advantage. That seems to be it for Spurs. I'm not quite sure if they're actually moved to New White Hart Lane in this game. I guess we'll find out. There's the cup. Look at it right on the right-hand side there. I see Lloris. I see Dembele. I see Davinson Sanchez. So there's some quality players in there. Player to watch, Harry Kane. So Kane is starting the game here for Spurs. Okay. Not sure how I feel about it. Not sure if I'm like too worried or anything like that. But I guess we just see what happens. The worst case scenario, we lose the game. Hey, we lost. Spurs are a good side. Like, I'm not going to deny that. They were top of the league last year for a reason. We chased them down, couldn't catch them. They're taking us all the way in terms of this year's Premier League campaign. They're a good side. That is their team. Lloris, Fisialko, Sanchez, Manolas, and Guerrero at the back. Javi Martinez, Sarabia, Dembele in the midfield, with Son, Eriksen, and Harry Kane leading the line. An interesting bench as well from them. And there is that side, which, like I said, an abundance of quality and talent in there. I'm hoping a few of their players will be maybe a little bit unfit because they played the day before against Man City. We played obviously the day before, but we were against a slightly easier opponent, and I didn't name any of today's starting 11 in that team that played against West Bromwich Albion. So it is a fresh 11 for us. That might come into our favour. And without further ado, here we go then. The Carabao Cup final against Spurs is underway here at Wembley. Will Brighton dethrone the champions of last season in terms of the league? Or are we just heading to a bitterly disappointing afternoon in the capital? Let's find out, as already a misplaced pass. Now, I would normally start on a defensive kind of formation for this one. But then again, I don't want to give too much away to Spurs. I don't want to give them too much time and day in and around our box, because they will cause us problems if we do that. Already a good chance here. As look at the runners forward. We've got Arter on one side, Vinicius Junior on the other, Balotelli on the other. There is Mario Balotelli. Balotelli, first chance, first goal of the game for Brighton and Hove Albion. And it's come from Super Mario. What a finish from Brighton's number 9. They take the lead after 7 minutes. Spurs caught napping at the back. Where on earth did they go? Look at the time that Rabiot had here to carry this ball forward and pick his pass out. In the end, he chooses the right-hand side to Mario Balotelli. Lloris comes out, doesn't get near it, and we take a lead with our first chance of the game. It's agonising for Spurs, who very nearly got there. Like I said, Lloris wasn't too far away from making that save, but he wasn't able to actually do it. And we've taken the lead inside 7 minutes here. It's the dream start, but my only worry is that we've scored far too early. You've heard that saying before. When teams score early, it can be a bit of a hindrance. That's my only worry here, as Brahimi gets back well and defends well. Yeah, like I said, dream start, but we need to keep hold of it. Arter looking for Ali Reza, and that's a great ball down the right. It's been no end of action thus far in the earlier stages of this game. Ali Reza going to try and come back with a ball just to keep hold of this, and we do that. Like I said, dream start. Vinicius Junior through towards Brahimi. What a save, Lloris. And Ali Reza won't keep it in. What a save from Hugo Lloris there. Oh, man. That was a chance for 2-0. Arter out wide towards Sessegnon. Little bit of space for Ryan Sessegnon to use now as he's found Vinicius Junior through the middle. Junior is going to shoot. It's deflected. It's actually touched Lloris on the way through. It's going to be a Brighton corner. If you're Spurs, you're seriously thinking, what is going on right now? The start to this game that they have had has not been good here. The delivery is good, but it is the goalkeepers, and it will be a foul from Mario Balotelli. Slightly frustrating, that. I'm just going to go ahead here and just alter the defensive game plan ever so slightly. In fact, I can't even enter. I can't do it. I have to go into defensive, don't I? So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'm going to alter it slightly because don't want too many players bombing forward. So let me change the formation down to a 4-2-3-1 narrow like we have been using. And obviously Ali Reza on the right, Vinicius still in the middle. And we're going to instruct Rabiot to stay back slightly, to stay back while attacking. So that gives us a little bit more solidity at the back. Okay, here is Brahimi again. Sessegnon overlapping, and we've given it to Ryan Sessegnon, who can take it forward. Needs a good delivery on the left foot. He's found a decent one at that. And I actually wanted to highlight Mario Balotelli there, not Ali Reza, who came in at the back post. If it had highlighted Mario, we might have had a better time of things, as we did try. Ooh, Spurs getting very lucky there to play their way out like that. If it did highlight Mario, it might have been in for 2. Having said that, Lloris has, of course, made that unbelievable save from Brahimi earlier on to deny that second goal, as Rabiot now putting his foot in defensively. We'll find Brahimi. Here is now Vinicius Jr. trying to carry it forward for us and feed Mario Balotelli. Balotelli sees Brahimi, gets it on the right foot. You've seen this before! When we've seen it before, though, it's normally gone in the back of the net, the curler. That time around, it was deflected from Spurs, who put it behind for another corner. And I think that might have actually been heading in as well, so good work from Davinson Sanchez. Brahimi's delivery, it's too easy for Spurs, but it's come straight out towards Vinicius Jr., who shoots deflected. Artur curler! Oh, it's 2-0 Brighton! And it's the former Barcelona man who's done it for us. 31 minutes played here at Wembley, and we have taken the second goal. Vinicius Jr.'s shot deflected straight to the Brazilian, who knew exactly what he wanted to do with the return, and that was fire it in the top corner. Didn't even have to look at where the goal was, just knew that that ball was going where he wanted, in that corner. You go no chance, and it's 2-0 Brighton. I honestly could not have asked for a better start here at Wembley. Got to admit, though, this ultimate difficulty, we know how bad that it can be sometimes. We know how good they can be when it comes to passing moves, and Spurs have barely even woken up yet. So there's still time for them in the game to come forward and get something, as Vinicius Jr. finds Balotelli. Hang on a minute, because we might be in for another one, but then I've completely messed that one up there with a fake shot from Brahimi. Spurs need to wake up, and wake up quick. Poor pass, and we feed Vinicius Jr. now. And we see us coming forward, bombing forward again. Brahimi, it's come towards Mario Balotelli. Woodwork, bouncing out, and Ali Reza smashes it home. 3-0 Brighton. Can you believe what you are seeing here at Wembley? Off both posts, falls to Ali Reza, and he smashes it in top bins. I've got to say, the cutback was actually meant for Brahimi, not Mario Balotelli. But I don't care how the ball goes in, provided that it goes in. Ali Reza just smashing it home, making sure. And we take a third before half-time. If we lose this Carabao Cup from this situation right here, I only have myself to blame, and I deserve to go and kick myself in the face, because we can't possibly lose this from 3-0 up now. Famous last words. I don't even want to go on to like ultra defensive or anything like that, because I don't want to invite pressure forward. I want us to stay how we are playing, and that is on the front foot, because if I start inviting pressure, that's where I normally tend to kind of collapse. I haven't done it yet. Brahimi looking out wide towards Ali Reza, who might reach that. Never mind, he does. That's good play from Ali Reza, reaching that ball before it goes out of play. Comes back inside as well, and we keep hold of the ball pretty well here. Artur, lovely little turn. And there is the pass, but he can't find Ali Reza. Spurs deal with it. Half-time whistle goes. And as the scoreline suggests, it has been a dream start here for Brighton. But there is a massive 45 coming up here for Spurs. Ali Reza. Now Vinicius Jr. towards Brahimi. Gets the ball under control. Brahimi curling. Lovely save from Lloris, but it's come to Ali Reza. And it's 4-0 Brighton. The offside flag's up though. It won't count. It will not count for Ali Reza. And it will remain 3-0 to us here at Brighton. I imagine if we'd have gone 4-0 in front there. Is it the right decision? It looks it from that situation there. Credit to the fourth official, or linesman, sorry. But then again, I would have loved that to have gone in and gone to be 4-0. Odriozola towards Watkins again, who's been brilliant since coming on. Ollie Watkins' delivery goes deep. It's back across, and it's asking for Brahimi to get on it. He wasn't able to do it in the end. It was just asking for Brahimi to get a touch on the end of that one. Instead, it's ended up going towards the box. Nobody gets on it. Here is Brahimi again. It's all Brighton, though, coming forward. So if you're a Spurs fan, you're literally livid right now. Brahimi curling. It's deflected off our own man. It's going to be a goal kick to Spurs. If you are a Spurs fan, though, you are not happy with how your team has performed here. 2 minutes remaining here of the 90. Spurs running out of time, and I think that's probably going to be it for the final, guys. It is going to be Brighton winning their first bit of silverware of the series, and it's going to come in the form of the Carabao Cup, which isn't the most prestigious of the cups, but at least it's still something. And we are still in, of course, the top spot of the Premier League and in the Champions League as well, waiting on that second leg against Borussia Dortmund. But as the referee has given a corner here, it's all about just running the clock down. This will be the last piece of play that Spurs are going to get. They have not got enough time to bring this one back from 3-0. And they're not even going to get a consolation by the looks of things here as Rabiot goes over. It's going to be another corner. Ref, we've played 1 minute 42 over the allotted added time here. Heung-min Son's delivery. put in towards the mixer. It's straight in the hands of Frankie Brown, who smashes it clear and secures Brighton their first win in a cup final under our reign. Goals from Balotelli, Arthur and Ali Reza enough here for the win. I said that game against City might play a factor. I don't know if you saw it right at the end there. Heung-min Son's stamina bar was pretty much 0. Like I said, that's why we rested a lot of our players for the game against West Brom, knowing that we had this game here against a very difficult side in Spurs. But on the day, we were just head and shoulders better than them. And it's a great feeling when you know that's step 1 already secured. Now we have the Premier League that we're going to have to fight along with them to try and secure that as well. But let's just enjoy this moment right here. Now, the EFL Carabao Cup is in our hands. It's going to be Lewis Dunk, the captain of Brighton, who will lift it. I'm still not certain about his future. I'm still not certain about my centre-back pairings. But for now, he's here. And this is the first of many trophies coming to Brighton as Dunk hoists it up in the air. We are Carabao Cup champions. How's about that then, ladies and gentlemen? A dominant performance in the final. Before going into that, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous. I was sat there at home kind of thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to set the team up? There is the confirmation. Carabao Cup winners, beating Spurs 3-0 in the final at Wembley. I'm sure they're going to want revenge, though. And that might come in taking off the Premier League title out of our hands. But for now, we hold a 7-point lead with 11 games remaining of the season. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're pretty much there or thereabouts. As you can see, Frankie Brown going to an 81, Phil up to an 80 overall. Happy days with those two. But as we end today's episode off, that is how the league table currently looks. Now, 2 games we've lost. We do have that 7-point lead, so we can afford to lose another 2. And obviously, Spurs win their games. I don't know how it's going to fare in that one. We play West Ham next. They face off against Leicester. They've got some tough games coming up. We've got some tough games coming up as well. So Liverpool in there. Having said that, though, Liverpool still find themselves down in 13th. So they're not having a great season. We very nearly, obviously, drew with Cardiff in today's episode. We managed to get the winner, though, late on. They, at the moment, are down the bottom of the table. So that would have been a very, very poor result if we were to only draw that game. That's how it's looking for the top scorers, though. Mario out in front alongside Alexis. Problem is, he hasn't scored for quite a few games in the Premier League, Mario Balotelli. But in terms of the Champions League then, we do have the second leg of that one against Dortmund to look forward to. So for now, we've got the 2-0 aggregate lead. We, of course, play against them in the next one. We'll see how that one's going to fare. But I want to thank you so much for watching this episode. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you all for your continued support on the channel as well. If you are new around here and like what you see, the subscribe button is down below. Click that to follow me on the channel. And until next time, guys, have a fantastic day. I'll catch you again soon. Adios.